Hi, I am Sanjana Ganeshan and you're watching the ICC Review. On this episode, we're chatting with ICC Hall of Famer and Mumbai Indians coach Mahela Jayawardene. What were some of your thoughts about the incident involving Rishabh Pant in the DC versus RR game the other night?
It is disappointing to see that you're stopping a game and people coming onto the field, but I honestly believe it was just the emotions carrying away. It's just the last over. A couple of sixes were hit, and there was an opportunity. Probably, the umpires did get it wrong, but the rules say that you can't go to the third umpire or check on those things. It's something that I think going forward we need to look at. Whether the option for the third umpire to come on the field and onto the main umpires and inform, maybe it's a delivery that you should check, but spirit of the game and to see things moving forward. I think it's never an option for any coach or a player to come onto the field. We've given an opportunity to come onto the field during the strategic timeout in IPLs, and that should be the only time that the coaches or anyone else should be allowed.
And have you spoken to the Mumbai dressing room about the incident? If yes, what has been the tone of that discussion?
No, I think we saw it on TV. Most of the guys were watching it together, and then afterwards as well, we had a chat. But I don't see us. We probably will react in the dugout, but I think it's never an option to go onto the field. That's not the way things should be. But I'm pretty sure that Rishabh and Praveen would regret what happened, and I think Rishabh in his interview rightly said that it was because of the emotions, how it happened, and I think we need to give benefit of the doubt and move on.
Talking about your team in the IPL and now mine, the Mumbai Indians, things have not gone according to plan. Would you say it's more difficult as a coach or a player when a part of your team is going through a lean patch?
Well, I think it's tough for players and coaches as well. You're trying to work hard, try and execute, especially after a big auction. We've lost quite a bit of players from what we had from last 4 years, and it was a bit challenging for us to have a combination with the new players, and you need a bit of momentum, especially at the start of the tournament. And we had a couple of close matches which we couldn't finish off. That gave us that negative thought processes going through your head, especially with players, and for us it's mainly with our batsmen, and that's been highlighted in the last few games as well, where we were in positions and we have not been able to execute well. So it is tough for both coaches as well as players, because it's every game becomes even more harder to cross that line. So I think taking game at a time, trying to settle everyone down and going through that processes is the most important thing, and players trust in their ability and backing themselves out there in the middle. The tournament gets even harder because all the teams are much tougher with 2 added teams as well, so it's not going to be easy for us.
From all the former coaches that you've played under, what would you say are some of the best qualities of some of the coaches that you've played with, and how do you imbibe them into your own coaching style?
I think I was quite lucky to have quite a few coaches who probably had different styles. If you take Dav, who's much more relaxed coach, beginning of my career, he was a World Cup winning coach with the Sri Lankans in '96, and then he had another stint. That's the time that I worked with him. Much more relaxed. He can get angry, but I think he's a much more approachable guy. And then I had Tom Moody, who coached us, and I was actually the captain during that period. Really enjoyed working with him. A very players coach, always understands what's going on, and at the same time he's tough when he has to be tough. I think those are qualities of a good coach, where you try and have that balance, understand what the players are going through. That's the most important thing. and find solutions, having conversations, and when they're not, probably thinking the right way, or not, in that track, that's a time that you probably have to get hard with them and make sure that they understand what needs to be done.
Mahela, when it comes to coaching, do you prefer forging your own style, or do you like borrowing techniques and processes from coaches that you've played under?
Well, I think it's about learnings from all the coaches, all the experience that I had during my playing time, but at the same time have to understand we are coaching a new generation as well. So there's quite a bit of different ways that you have to approach this new generation. So I think it helps for a coaching perspective for me to know how I've learned, and whether some of them can be transferred to the new generation, or if not, because the game demands different things at the moment. So you need to be able to help them to develop in that rapid pace, especially with T20 cricket and white ball cricket. So I mean, for us as coaches as well, it's learnings every day with the players, and with competitions and different tactics.